Are there any brands you're watching who are automating things in a way where you're like, that's pretty forward thinking, or doing their first party data strategy in a way that you think is super smart?
Not necessarily brand specific, but I think there's going to be a lot of automation. We're starting to see this already play out in warehousing. So that kind of goes back a little bit to the supply chain, but there's a lot of challenges and costs associated with maintaining a warehouse, especially for labor. So how they can implement automation there, I think is going to be really key. Also, automation, how organizations can leverage automation in terms of driving or making things like buy online, pick up in store more efficient. We saw those types of tactics get stood up in a very scrappy way over the last 2 years. And for the last 2 years, it wasn't necessarily about doing it efficiently, it was just getting it done. And in some cases, it was at what cost. Now that's not necessarily the conversation anymore. It's how do we continue to do this, but do it in a more efficient and cost-effective way. And so that's where I think automation can really come in and play a role in making that buy online, pick up in store, curbside pickup experience easier. And not only just from an automation perspective, it's easier for the customer and for the sales associate because there's a lot of training that to that function, manpower, resources, and so that's certainly one area of automation I see being a key opportunity for cost savings. In terms of data strategy, there's some some cool brands doing a lot of cool things with data. And some brands you might not even necessarily know, that it's behind the scenes, it's very stealth. And I think the best organizations are those that have a very effective data strategy and you wouldn't even know it because the experience is so smooth. So, organizations that can leverage their data across all of their different touch points, whether it's an experience you had in the store translating to an interaction you have online or social media or what have you, and being able to carry that experience with that one shopper across all those different touch points. That is the cool opportunity for having a really effective data strategy. I can't think of any brands off the top of my head that are doing that really well right now, but there's tons of opportunity there.
Yeah, yeah. It feels like these past couple years have been like building beta things, like just trying to get something out there. Now, many things might just have to be completely rebuilt now that we kind of understand, like, oh, people actually want to stick with this. No one's going back to how it used to be. Things aren't really reverting. And so we might need to rebuild something. I mean, I did a buy online pickup, I think curbside. And it was a very large retailer. And I was like, I didn't even know how to pick it up. I was so confused. I was like clicking the link. It would like kept asking me to sign in. I'm like, I don't even have an account with you. And I was like, I don't even know where to go. And I'm like, how have we not figured this out yet? But I think it's, because like organizations move so quickly to try and solve a problem that they had to, maybe normally would take 3 years to solve. They solved it in like 2 months. And then now I think consumers like expectations are going to start to come back where for a little while, I think people were okay with like it just being okay. And like, as long as it gets the job done. But now I think like expectations are going to go higher than ever and things might just have to be rebuilt to keep up.
Exactly, especially if consumers are paying or customers are paying much higher prices than they were a year ago, their expectations are going to rise alongside that. We fielded a lot of other surveys throughout the year. And what was interesting is that over the past 2 years, and we asked, what drives your decision making when it comes to choosing a brand or a company to purchase from? Consistently, when we surveyed that question, it was always convenience and product availability. So if you had the product and if I could get it quickly and easily, that's where I would spend my money. But now, when we field that same question, and this is just in the last month or two, it's no longer about convenience or efficiency, it's about pricing. So customers are now more than ever, they're feeling the burn of the economy. And so they're going to go where it makes the most sense for them. If you are raising prices, as all organizations are, how are you going to capture the hearts and minds of customers that are feeling the burn? And there's still a segment of the population that is more shielded from those economic challenges right now. And they're still leaning more towards convenience and availability. But, they're still going to want to have efficiency within that experience, especially if they are also still paying higher prices. So they all kind of go hand in hand.
Hey, thanks for watching. This segment was made possible by our friends at Salesforce Commerce Cloud. If you're looking for the #1 platform for all your commerce needs, go check out salesforce.com/commerce. And don't forget to subscribe below and tap that little bell icon so you can stay on top of all the amazing new segments and full episodes that we'll be putting out over the coming year with some of the best and most influential commerce leaders out there.